Good morning, Destiny players, and welcome to the third installment of Burger Rants about how underrated Lucky Pants is. Why another video? Well, this build gets toys constantly and needs to be tweaked a lot to keep up. I am Bladeburger, your local blood loss builder kind of guy, and let's get right into it. Lucky Pants time. Do all the algorithm goodies. To start, this build is a DPS monster, one that competes with the highest DPS strategies out there. Very underrated for high level content, able to out DPS quite a lot of other things. But why isn't it used a lot? I don't know, I'm just a burger. With this season and a weapon released last season, this build got new toys. Last time I covered it was Season of the Deep. Lucky Pants received no changes since then, but it's only gotten stronger through other means. Let's talk about what the pants does. These boots allow radiating a fully loaded kinetic hand cannon or a hand cannon that matches a subclass type to gain a stacking bonus to damage for each shot landed within a 5.5 second window. Each stack is 60% and it stacks up to 10 times for a total of 600% bonus damage. Also stacks with surges and radiant. When the timer for damage runs out, you can't use the ability for 10 seconds. You also get better handling and AE for hand cannons. But why is this build better this season? In Season of Witch, we got a new contender for high DPS with this exotic, and this season has cracked artifact perks for Solar. Let's talk the hand cannon of choice first. Of the three top options, there's Crimson, Malfeasance, and Warden's Law. I used all three when trying to settle on a hand cannon, and I ultimately settled on Malfeasance again. Warden's Law with 4th times a charm and Vorpal does actually outdamage the other two options when it comes to spraying into a boss, but the weapon just doesn't feel good at all to use and falters in non-damage phase areas of the game. It's very awkward and clunky to use. If it's just you and a boss, it does better, but if you're just doing day-to-day PvE, it's not great. Malfeasance has the second highest DPS overall of the three, but also feels the best to use. It performs very well in most of the game, better in Gambit, and out DPSs a lot of top tier strategy. Crimson is also very good, but second place for feel and third place for overall DPS, so Malfeasance is my choice. Let's talk about what it does. Malfeasance shoots explosive slugs into enemies, and yes, they do explode when you kill an enemy, so it can hit multiple enemies. When you hit 6 slugs into a single enemy, they explode, dealing more damage, stuns unstoppables. It also deals more damage to Taken and Invaders. Its Catalyst gives Vorpal Weapon, which increases damage against bosses, vehicles, and guardians in Super by 20%. It's a very strong weapon, made stronger each season despite never receiving any changes. Let's talk builds and what to use with these exotics. For class, we're on Solar Hunter. Acrobats dodge for free radiant. Pick your abilities of choice, we're more focused on fragments and aspects here. Speaking of aspects, knock them down. Buff Solar Supers and allows throwing knife kills while radiant to refund your throwing knife. We also have On Your Mark. Precision kills give weapon handling and reload. Stacks up to 3 times, and dodging gives max stacks automatically. For fragments, Ember of Solace, extending radiant and restoration timers. Ember of Torches, giving radiant on powered melee hits. Ember of Mercy, reviving allies gives restoration, and fire sprites give restoration too. Ember of Combustion, solar super kills cause an ignition and make a fire sprite, which gives grenade energy. Ember of Benevolence, applying solar buffs to allies gives better ability regeneration for a few seconds. So there's the class stuff, so let's talk stats. This is a pretty short section, but for stats, I'd recommend mobility as a priority for our dodge cooldown, but you can also go discipline for grenades. More grenades is always better. Not really much to say here, honestly. Let's get to the mods. For the mods, this build utilizes surges, but not as heavily as previous iterations of this build that I have posted on this channel. Surges are good, but if you have stats already at 100 for what I personally use to surge, it won't be as good as a build for you. On Helmet, I recommend a Siphon mod for each of your weapons, definitely Kinetic Siphon though, to make orbs on double or higher kills with Malfeasance. The rest of this is flex slots put wherever you want. On arms, this one changes depending on if you're using Healing Grenade or not. I'm not using Healing Grenade, so I have grenade-based mods, like Firepower, which makes an orb of grenade kills with a 10-second cooldown. We also have Bolstering Detonation, where grenade damage gives class ability energy. Focusing Strike, the same, but for melee damage. On boots, we have Double Kinetic Weapon Surge, increasing kinetic weapon damage by 17%, while we have an Armor Charge, gained by picking up orbs of power, and it lasts 10 seconds by default. We also have Absolution, giving us ability energy for all abilities when we pick up an orb of power. It ain't much, but it's honest work. On class item, Double Time Dilation, increasing the timer for surges from 10 seconds to 18 seconds. We also have Reaper, allowing the next weapon kill after using our class ability to make an orb of power. With the mods showcased, here's the usual overview. Look it over, make sure you criticize every single mod in the comments, then leave a like. Now, let's get to how it plays. This build shits out DPS like there's no tomorrow. Whenever I do dungeons, raids, the last Grandmaster I did like a year ago, I always pull out the pants. It's simple, just pop your super, hit the boss, and then blow thy load with malfeasance. In raids, it's constantly the top damage among my group, eclipsing even top damage strats like bait and switch rockets, Thunderlord, and linears. It also does really well against normal enemies. The damage increased with the pants, allowing one-shots to red bars even in higher level nightfalls. Extra exotic crit damage, baby, yeah. I recommend this build heavily for those that want to break free of the meta, to embrace the pants. You won't regret it. Welcome to the Jank Club, population you, me, and these pants. Now, if you excuse me, I have a boss to melt. Subscribe, Blade Burger out.